We're at JM Farms in Miami, Oklahoma.
When you think of farming, you may think of things like corn, wheat, cotton, or even animals. But have you ever thought about mushrooms? Mushroom farming is a thing, and it's a really interesting process. Follow along as we tour J&M Farms. The first thing we saw was from the wood shop. Here they build and repair the growing trays. The trays are made from oak and last 10 to 12 years. They have a lot of growing trays. Then we went to the wharf area. This is the area where they make compost. They put a lot of time and effort into making great compost because it's the key to growing mushrooms. Every process you see from this point on is done every day. Every process means that there is a constant supply of mushrooms being harvested. Production can be ramped up and down for forecasted demand. But a new batch of each compost is started each day, and that is what kicks off the growing cycle for each crop. Wheat straw is the main compost ingredient, and they use 65 tons of it every day. And that is the equivalent weight of 9 standard school buses. They also add other ingredients like chicken litter and cottonseed meal to get a perfect ratio for their process. In all, each batch is about 100 tons of bulk material per day, or about the same weight as 800 Boeing 737 planes eat every single year. To make compost, there is lots of mixing water and moving involved. The bulk material is put into windrows and mixed. It gets moved into a bunker where air is forced through to evenly promote the composting process. Driving the front-end loader was fun.
Look at that smile.
It's so fun that the smoke and all the bones made it funny.
The compost is then molded into ricks, which are long rectangular cubes. The machine that does this was engineered and made right here. This picture shows how the compost progresses over 3 weeks. At this point, a loader scoops up the rick and moves it to a walking floor, which feeds into a mixing head, which mixes and breaks it up. From there, it falls onto a long conveyor belt, which takes it to the next phase, where it is pasteurized. Yes, pasteurized. An operator monitors the moisture content to make sure it is around 65% of moisture. Water can be added if needed. A telescoping conveyor belt loads the compost into these tunnels. The material is allowed to sit and it heats up from the natural composting process. The temperature gets hot enough to kill off bacteria and microbes. This process is called pasteurization. It is important for consumer food safety, but also to protect the mushrooms that will grow in the compost soon. going into this process, the compost can smell musty and a little yucky. When it comes out, it has a very mild and pleasant, clean, earthy smell. Now it's ready to grow mushrooms. When the compost comes out of pasteurization, the spawn is added with this machine. Spawning is like seeding the mushrooms. The spawn material is grain infused with teeny tiny spores. This is what the spawn looks like. It takes another ride on the conveyor belt to another building. Here, a custom-designed line loaded the spawn compost into the growing trays we saw earlier. The line unstacks, fills, evenly packs, and restacks the trays. A 2-inch casing layer of wet pet moss and lime are also added. The trays enter a setback phase which lasts 12 days. During that time, the temperature and the moisture are closely monitored and controlled.
So we've got different kind of probes in here to monitor the temperature. You can see this white, I should have brought my flashlight. Yeah, see that white stuff?
Yeah.
That's mycelium. Why don't you smell it now, Alex?
I can see it on there.
Smell it now? It smells kind of sweet.
Smell this one. It's got a lot of white stuff. Does it smell sweet?
Yep, it's almost.
These cables connect sensors on one end to a computer where it's monitored by the growers. In this stage, pinning is induced. Baby mushrooms! It was a lot of work to get to this point, but now things move quickly. Mushrooms double in size every 24 hours.
Which it's just a peat moss and lime mixture. And you can see that mycelium that's knitted up through that casing layer.
From here, the trays are moved into rooms where they continue to grow, be watered, quality controlled, and harvested. Quality control is very important. There is closely controlled temperatures, constant electronic monitoring, process supervision by trained growers, and inspectors treating and removing any problems. Harvesters also call out any mushrooms that don't meet J&M Farms high standards. No rejects are fed to local cows. A scanning system tracks who picked the mushrooms and from where. That lets any problems be traced back onto their source.
How old are you?
The goal is to have mushrooms packed and ready for shipping within 24 hours of harvesting. Operations are a steady 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. So fresh mushrooms are always being sent out. That takes place in another building. Let's go look. This building is kept really clean and cold. Mushrooms are sorted, sliced, if needed, and packaged into different sizes of containers. A sales office upstairs communicates what orders need to be filled and where they need to be shipped.
You want to go to work? Duffy said no. I'm so mad.
J&M Farms serves 10 states and operates 20 of its own trucks for delivery. Their mushrooms are sold to grocery stores, restaurants, institutions, and prepared food makers. Founded in 1979, annual production started at 2 million pounds per year. Today, 600 employees produce about 30 million pounds of mushrooms per year. Americans average eating 3 pounds of mushrooms each year. Yeah, they do. We took some mushrooms home. That made our mom really happy. Thank you, J&M Farms and Miss Mackenzie, for teaching me so much about mushroom farming. I hope you enjoyed the video. Please like and subscribe. You can always change your mind.